Have you ever stopped to think that the economy is basically a giant game, a massive multiplayer game that you're already playing right now, even if you don't realize it? So let's figure out how to play. We're going to break down the rules, meet the key players, and get you ready to make your next move.
Yep, that's right. Every single time you spend money, you're making a move. That snack you just bought, that show you streamed last night, every single one of those choices sends a little ripple across the entire game board. You're an active player, right from the get-go.
All right, so let's get to know the players, and we're gonna start with the most important one on the entire board. Hint, it's you. You are player one, the consumer.
So what does that actually mean? Well, the official definition is pretty simple. A consumer is just anyone who uses a product or a service. A good is something you can actually hold, like your phone. A service is something someone does for you, like giving you a haircut or financial advice. Simple as that.
So what's your main objective? What are you trying to do in this game? It's actually pretty straightforward. You want to get the most happiness or satisfaction that you possibly can. You're always thinking, is the amount of fun I'll get from this new video game worth what it costs? It's all about what's best for you.
And this is where it all goes down. Every shop, every website, every high street, just like this one, they're all levels in the game. Every time you're out shopping, you're putting your consumer strategy into play.
Okay, so you can't have a game with just one player, right? For every buyer, you've got to have a seller. And that brings us to player two, the producer.
A producer is anyone or any company that makes, grows, or supplies all the stuff that consumers like you want. You know, it could be a farmer growing the food you eat, a huge factory building cars, or even the tech company that designed your favorite app. Now, here's where their goal is totally different from yours. While you're chasing satisfaction, producers are chasing something else, profit. Pretty much every decision they make, what to create, how much of it to make, what price to sell it for, it all comes down to hitting that financial goal.
Okay, so we've got people buying stuff and people selling stuff. But what stops it from being total chaos? Who makes sure everyone is playing fairly? Well, that's where our third player comes in. Let's call them the rule maker or the government.
Now, we usually think of the government as the authority that runs the country. But in our economic game, they have a really special job. They're not just another player trying to win, they're more like the referee.
So as the referee, they make the rules, the laws that everyone has to follow. And they enforce them too. Think about health and safety rules that are there to protect all of us. Ever seen one of those yellow wet floor signs? Yep, that's a super simple government rule in action. They also collect money, called taxes, to pay for things we all share, like roads and hospitals.
All right, so we met our three main players: the consumer, the producer, and the government. But here's where it gets really interesting. The real magic happens when you see how they all connect.
And this, right here, is probably the single most important rule of the whole game. Every single move, by any player, directly affects all the other players. It's a totally interconnected system.
And this diagram, this is our game board. Just look at all those arrows flying around. Consumers buy from producers. Producers sell to consumers. The government collects taxes from both of them and then provides services back. It's this constant flow where every action causes a reaction somewhere else. The official word for this is interdependence.
I know. That sounds a little complicated. So let's make it real. Let's look at something you've definitely seen in the news or in the shops. The whole issue with sugary drinks.
Okay, so check out this chain reaction. Step one, the government, our referee, decides to create a new rule, a tax on sugary drinks to try and make people healthier. That's their move. Step two, the producers react. To avoid paying the tax, they change their game plan, maybe creating new drinks with less sugar. And finally, step three, you, the consumer, react. You walk into a shop, see the new prices, see the new products, and you make a new choice. See? One move by the government changed the whole game for everyone.
So, there you have it. We've met the players, we've learned the basic rules, and we know that every single move matters. But the really big question is, what does all this mean for you?
Well, here's the main thing I want you to take away from all this. The economy isn't some big, boring concept you only hear about on the news or read about in a textbook. It's a real living game that you are actively shaping every single day. Every choice you make as a consumer sends a powerful message to producers and to the government about what you care about and what you want.
You're not just a spectator here, you're one of the most powerful players on the entire board. So now that you know that, what's your next move going to be?